Great and beautiful morning, afternoon, and evening to you all, wherever you are joining me at this hour. I say welcome to 126th edition of Investdata Live Trading Academy with Ambrose. Yes, the market globally is breathing out. Like I said yesterday, that market breathes in and out. To speak that hour now, can see that around the globe, market is looking up, and that is a good sign that as I told you yesterday that when you are looking at your chart, you look at what chart to know the the price structure. You look at what money flow and news. And news is very important in equity trading. In any of the instrument you are trading, because these events that happen shape investors across the globe, their sentiment, either positive or negative. That is why before you go into any trade as a trader, you need to look at what is the general direction of the market, and which you will see by looking at either by looking at the indicators, or like the Osher index down here, like in US, you can look at S&P, the many the sector you want to say, you can look at Dan Jones, look at the and NASDAQ. It depends on what you want to trade. That is why, as a trader or investor, knowing the market direction generally is very important. As we speak now, as I said earlier, the global stock markets rebounded, to start Tuesday or open Tuesday higher after a negative sentiment. It started the week as a result of aggressive Fed rate hike that the chairman gave sign in the last Friday. No, that has not affected market on Friday, and that was extended to yesterday. But this morning, we saw that market is also beating up. But the investors' sentiment improved on this hour, as a China government or authority state that they're going stimulus to kind of stimulate the economy, and that is what really gave the investors across the globe a kind of a relief. This is what we're saying, that when you see positive information, it has the way of what of turning investors outlook. No, by looking at demand and kind of a stable employment for their people for the rest of the year and beyond. And these policymakers in that climate in China also have taken steps to pump up their demands from the weak data we have seen in terms of growth in that for the past for the last half year of 2024. They are looking at the remaining days of this year. They are looking at a kind of a package. We call it a stimulus package to kind of stimulate their economy, and that was announced by the Chinese cabinet last week. And you can see that has started changing the face of the market in that zone. That is why you can see that Asia market not get there. You can see that most of the market in Asia are also missed, but some of them are already in green. And this has a lot of the package that's involved about billions of dollars in that package. Yeah, compared to what is happening or opposite to what is happening around the globe, where many central banks of the world are going toward tightening of monetary policy just because of inflation that have kind of ravaged most of the climate, and that have put most of these central banks in that tight corner to checkmate inflation by kind of hiking a rate. These are what really also are contrary to what China is doing now. China is taking steps to kind of a bailout stimulus to kind of support the economy to bounce back. That also gave the market investors around the globe a kind of sense of relief. But if the second largest economy is also doing that, why others are busy trying to checkmate what inflation, that is what really brought the kind of relief we saw. That as we speak now, I will tell you that the fear of also recession that also kind of pull back the oil price down. But in that direction, look at oil performance for the last 5 days. Consider it has remained in up direction in terms of no rallying. But this week it opened on a positive note. But as we speak now, we are seeing a pullback in oil price as a result of one, the fear of demand, that if recession comes anywhere, that it also going to affect demand, and also the news that many different countries, different US, and to release oil for this season. That also have kind of damp demand, or kind of put a pressure down for this oil price this hour. But we believe that before the end of the year, we'll see that oil price will remain above 100 and even get to as high as 20. But this oscillation will continue also to influence investor decision, because you know that the price of energy is very important. When oil price is high, That's another force that puts pressure on inflation. And knowing that that China, Russia itself that that are into war with Ukraine, you can see that the output also has exceed their target. That the supply, but don't mind that in all this, OPEC is not likely to food and but likely to also to cut output. But we believe that this oscillation is also what is also trade. But if you look at all this, these are why investors should look at when you are going to trade. You want to look at what is happening in sectors. You want to look at what is happening in the general market. Looking at all these oscillation in oil price, those companies in oil business or energy business, you can see that their earnings has not kind of a pullback. We have seen a kind of a sustained uptrend in the numbers emanating from these oil companies. For me, it's a good one for investors to always look at where you are entering and look at the sentiment for the sector or the industry you are entering. That is also very, very good. As we speak now, oil price is trading at $102.7 per barrel. You can see, after it had touched as high as 105, that pulled back again to 102. This hour as we speak, it tells you that this oscillation and this fear of recession has also continued to dampen investors' the demand for the oil. Sorry, demand for oil. But as we speak, I said earlier that U.S. market indices are in green, and that of the European stocks are also in that direction. While Asia and Africa are mixed. But as we speak now, NGS is already slightly in red. It opened in green this morning. The oscillation also continued. That volatility also continue. This morning, the NGS opened on the green note. But to speak at this midday now, then has pulled back toward a marginal word, a red position or a negative position. Very slightly now, as we speak, the market is a bit down, just slightly down. But technically, we want to look at the market. The market has maintained a positive sentiment after last Friday GDP figure was released to the market. That about 3.5% expansion in the economy, which is good. And don't forget that in that GDP report, there are some sector that have contributed immensely to this GDP growth. And that, as an investor, as you're looking at which area are you positioning ahead of the uncertainties as a result of economic and political, there are still sectors that, like I've mentioned, oil as when I was looking for global economy. I see that the oil sector here back in Nigeria, I see that the result that emerged from those companies are still positive, and we expect that trend to continue in Q3. And don't forget that also the government has also maintained that subsidies will be maintained till that of what till May 2023. You can see that even as we are seeing different prices that here in Lagos, you can see that PMF they are selling some in 200 naira per liter, some are selling 170 per liter, some are paying 180. All this also going to have the work of impacting the local marketing oil the companies in Nigeria, apart from those that are into good business like Steplat and Owando and which we are seeing a gradual move by Adova going to oil business. But those local business like Eternal Oil, that of Total, you can see that the numbers that come from this company are not something to say they are bad. These are numbers that are really impressive to tell you where they are going. And if that is sustained, especially in the life of Total and Eternal Oil, you see that number being maintained. And if that is sustained, that means a price like Eternal Oil, you should see a kind of value we're going to get. If as at Q2 we are seeing already 96 kobo any per share for that. Also, other sectors, these are things you want to look at. It's a good sector that supported the economy. Yes, you know that oil sector didn't do much in the GDP, but the non-oil sector that also you can see. That's why when I see the life of Ethereum, the life of Ether, another related, you can see today now. You can see that each transact is one leading gainers. Here, you can also see that volume has recently resurfaced in that each transact and in mutual benefit. You ask yourself, what are these volume for? This is how to look at your technical analysis and know how to trade, because exactly you are in the market work to make money. As NGS index ranges on a daily time frame and up to trade above the T line, we want to look at what is happening now on the chart to see exactly where the market is doing. Because yesterday we stopped at looking at the price action. Today we look at the money flow. How money flow also help you to know exactly what is happening in the market. And that is why money flow, we do a report in Investdata every day. Like this one, we have posted a sentiment report. We tell you that for each stock, whether the money flow is looking up or looking down. Like I always say that when money flow is above 50, then that strong fund is entering. But around 70, 80, that stock, I mean, there is a low. But also when it's coming down, you see it around 70 is coming down around 60. But when you see it crossing also 50 down, that means really there is kind of a sell off or in that position. This money flow tell you where there's no front entry, where demand is going. But money flow has to relate with the volume and also the price. These are how you want to look at where what the money is entering. Money is very, that's why trading with volume is very, very important also. And don't forget, I mentioned news, when we're saying that news around the market is very, very key. You can see that when the GDP figure came on Friday, the market didn't react much because it's almost toward the close of market. Yesterday, we saw that despite the market was down marginally by 0.1, I said that we'll have more buyers yesterday. About 18 stocks were up on the exchange, while 9 was down. Tells that people, I think, if you look at those, look at the banking sector where we're still expecting some earnings. That sector maintained a positive no trend and closing green about 0.25. Tells that people are taking position. And also this morning, you can see that the news in the market as regard to Access Bank completing acquisition of first guarantee pension. That's also positive news for Access. Also, the news that Fidelity is also acquiring about 100% of Union Bank, London, the UK branch of it. That means many companies or many banks in Nigeria know that some of them cannot continue to grow organically. They are using acquisition to enter new market, acquisition to expand their business, because when you are eating into new market, you are bringing more money. That is where you can sustain what your earning capacity, your earning power. And that we are seeing that this is coming at this time that the market is trying to also enter another new month. That is that you as a trader or investor, you need to look at what is happening in the market as we speak now. Now we want to look at the chart. We want to look at that because this is already the last trading day of the month for August. We want to look at the market. Yes, down from one month to weekly down to what to a day before we look at the hour chart. But for now, I want to look at the market position as at the end of what the month, as at today, because today is the last trading day of the month. Pick one. I want to look at what is the market pattern, what is the pattern as the market is the month is closing, and also we're entering a new month, which is the last month for the third quarter 2023. You know what the meaning for you to enter the last month, the end of the quarter. You should know that in this end of the quarter, we're still expected position taking, we expect dressing at the end of the quarter, and also we're expecting to see MPC meeting coming up. We're also looking at to see that the what we call purchasing manager for the month, managers index for the month of August, and also we're looking to see inflation figure for August. This news is what's going to change the market. That is why you want to know. That's why I said if you're able to look at your as a technician, like I always say that you must change your strategy. The strategy most of the technical books have taught us before now. Those are addicted word strategy because it's almost 100 years those books are written. As we speak now, we are seeing a lot of different patterns in the market, sentiment coming out, volatility has changed, and also the institutional investor who are the money, the hot money or the smart one we call them, they also are also changing their strategy. That means you as a trader, you must have to combine what is happening in the market by reading your chart action, price action or index action, which is the candlestick, correctly, and also know exactly where the market is flowing through. You must know the sentiment, the psychology, the buying and selling, the thought of the players in the market, because these are what determine where the stock will move to, whether to move up or down. Don't do that because there's no liquidity. Let me sit down. Yes, liquidity play a major role in the market, but there's liquidity go in individual stocks. That's why I said as you change your strategy, have your trade setup, you do your routine. Then also when you see that after your routine, you see that what you are seeing in the market is not too pleasant to you and you are not understanding to read the chart. What you can do, just slow down again and watch, but keep cash available so that when you see opportunities created by any pullback by all these leaders in the market, you can easily enter position at the end of the day. That is how to trade at this moment because market is very, very dicey, oscillating up and down. But if you look at the monthly chart here, I will tell you that for those that are in the Q&A, I think I discussed this briefly. But you can see that the market for the last 3 months. Now you can see for the month of June, July, August, we are seeing a kind of a correction. Market is trying to pull back. But in all this, that there's a last candle formation here. It's very, very important. In technical analysis, this is called we call a hammer candle, which is also a good one. When you see a hammer candle when the market is going down, it's a sign of what reversal. It's a sign of a bullish reversal pattern. But you need to look at it very well. But you can see that in all this, the market is here to take away what the market gained in the month of May. And that means this is the strong support level, and that is where the market is now. That means either in a new month we'll see a reversal up or down or continuation. But what you look at where the first support level to be at the end of this level, that is around look at where it is now at this point will be the first support level that we are looking. If market break down this the new support level we're seeing here, that is around the 49. We're looking at either 47, 48 here, for you to see where the market going. But as the month of September, I've said it earlier, the history looking at that month also a very dicey month that was delayed. But in September, as from third quarter, like I've said, third week of the month, we expect expectation of position taking for any season in October. That also, during the quarter end dressing, these are the things. But you need to enter so that you have seen that their fundamentals, their earnings trend has remained positive, and factors that will support their numbers are there. And don't forget that it is now that you're going to see how the increase in cost of diesel and all those stuff going to play more on some companies, cost of production, or cost of running their business. You need to put all this into perspective. And also, as inflation continues to rally, don't forget that to rise. Don't forget that this is also going to limit the purchasing power of many people. The Nigerians that have not had an increase in their wages. That means there are some products that even though they are essential, but because the people buying them don't have much, if they are demanding more before, they are likely to also reduce their demand. That also have a way of playing. That means we need to look at which company, which sector, that despite what is happening, they will also sustain what demand for their product even when they have increased their price, because that price increase have helped them to pass some cost to them, which made them to put some positive number. You want to look at all these things as to speak to. But if you look at here now, I want to look at the stochastic below to give us a sign. If you look at this for the month of August, we are seeing on the monthly a good volume here, and that volume is a red volume. You can see it here. But if you look at stochastic, which are the indicator, momentum indicator, you can see that it's coming down, which is here. But also, if you look down here, you can see that it is just slightly below 70, around the 70 point if you are reading. But as I say that it's still within a good region. But any turn up here will also support that. This is just a correction. We might see an uptrend because it remained from here. It started. If you look at this here up here, even with all this correction, it remained above 70. For me, it's a good one, but we need to keep our eyes to see if this green line will turn up to cross the red one up again to usher in, and that depends information, especially as all eyes are what on the remaining banking result. If that happens, that would also be very, very nice for people to see that those results that are expecting, if it comes to trigger. But the good thing is that you as an investor, since the liquidity in the market is not much, it is time for you to look at some position that you can extend by taking dividend and wait for what for a longer period. Because you are a trader that can enter that for 1 week or 2 weeks. But if the market in your direction and you are in good company and you are seeing that what you are seeing their price is not making too much uptrend, it's not declining, but there's a kind of a level of stability in that stock, you don't need to jump out. Or rather take the dividend they are paying and wait for what for the final dividend at the end of the year. Because by next month we're already crossing over to the end of the fourth quarter of the year. These are the things you need to understand so that you will be jumping and jumping out. But as I said, if you are in a stock that that thought your stop loss, get out from that position, hold the cash to look for another stock to enter at the end of the day. But if you are in a position that still remains a bit stable, you don't need also to panic yourself. This for a monthly chart, but let's quickly look at what the weekly chart is saying. That also helps us to look at our position to see before we now come to the daily chart, which is today our business. Also, if you come back here and see the same pattern we saw in the monthly chart, that is what we're seeing on the weekly chart here. You can see that weekly chart is also having what we call a hammer candle formation, and you can see that at this point it's almost like a 50% Fibonacci. If that is sustained and that can go up from here to here, if that is sustained and a reversal, fine. But this is a positive, a bullish reversal signal. But we need to confirm before we can. But if you come down and look at the stochastic indicator, yes, it is. You say this over what you call it oversold region. You can see it here that the market has come down here with all this correction, but now trying to go up. The blue one across the one is going to sustain an uptrend. As we speak now, it's just below the dotted line. Once you enter the blue line and sustain an uptrend, that is where we say the momentum is still very, very strong in the market. But now it's a good sign that it has crossed, and that is why we are seeing this resistance here as a signal for bullish trend, which the stochastic indicator have also given us a clue here. But we want to see how sustainable this uptrend is for the market, and this for a weekly chart. You can see the indicators here. But let's quickly look at the day chart. Well, this is a day chart. While this is a day chart, let's look at the day chart. To see what the market is doing. On this chart, I need to call up our money flow index to look at what is happening in this market at this hour. I'll call up the money flow index and others that we can go back and look at all this together. Let me call the money flow index up here now. Yes, take the money flow index and then quickly call the exponential for now go back to look at the state, the market, what is happening now as we speak. Yes, quick one. We want to look at the state of the market. The market as we speak is trading around 49,673.83. Market is down by 2.85 basic point. That is down marginally by 0.01% in red. But if you look at the market breadth, I'll tell you market breadth is positive. We are seeing 8 gainers against 4 losers at this hour. The losers chart is top by we're seeing Jais Bank led the chart, followed by USCN. Then we're seeing GT Code and FBN hold it. These are the top losers as we speak now. But if you look at the gainers there chart, you can see that each transact is leading the chart. With the weather is 8 gainers against 4. We're seeing each transact, we're seeing also Sovereign Trust Insurance, we're seeing a Vital Foam on that chart. You can see Japoco, Gold, and FGN Kuku. Others in that chart are UCAP, you can see Fidelity Bank and the Sterling Bank. Fidelity Bank, we're just share about the news. Let's see how the market is going to digest this because news is just very, very important. After we are seeing where the money is flowing to, we have seen the structure of the market in terms of looking at the price structure, your candlestick, and also the price action where it's going. Then you need to look at the news in the market. This news has a way also for influencing sentiment. That's why I said trade the chart, not the news. Upon news come, it will reflect on the art how the market are reacting to that news. That's why I say always trade the chart because the news will be represented in the chart. That's why all these are represented in that price structure. But there's something to trigger people sentiment, either positive or negative, and which are events and news or policies or announcements from any, whether from government or regulators. All these are very, very important to have at the back of your mind. The top trade as we speak now, mutual benefit leading the top trade, followed by Access Corp, the Wasin MTN there, then Zenith Bank and Fidelity. These are the top trade. I tell you that volume is very, very important. That's why knowing the volume pattern of the stock you are positioning in is very, very key so that it will help you to understand where the market is going at that particular time. Now, as we speak now, I want to look at the chart of a Vitafoam. What is happening to Vitafoam after that pullback last week? That Friday around 22, was around 20, was now back to almost 23. Is it sustainable? We want to look at the chart to answer that. Look at what is happening in UCAP, then look at what is happening in MTN, then look at the GT code and the access bar. Then Fidelity, is time for me to look at what is happening in Fidelity. Now, yes, our market reacting to this news might not see much, but the candlestick or the sentiment in the market will tell us, or where the fund is flowing to tell us exactly what is happening in this individual stock. But I've said, if you look at the market is still trading on this AD chart, trading above the T line, which you can see here, which is very, very good, fine. Despite that market is kind of trading or ranging as we speak now above the T line. But if you look at the 1 hour chart for the index action, you need to know what is happening there. See the same pattern slightly on top of what the T line. But if you look at your oscillators, I think that this thing market remains strong at above almost what we are seeing here now. That the market almost above 80. You can see it here. If you look at the stochastic here, which is a good one for us. That market at over, let's say language, want to use that language, say overbought region. But they are on a 1 hour chart. These are the things we also have to consider when we are looking at the market as we speak now. But on the daily chart, you can see it's still trending up, not yet overbought. I mean, there's still strength in the market. But here you can see the missed technicals we are seeing now. The money flow on the daily chart is looking down for the market. We are seeing also that the blue one is always trying to cough while the market is side trending. We have to keep our eyes on the market to know where it's going from here. Today is the last trading day of the month, but because not last trading day of the quarter, we are not seeing much with the dressing as at end of quarter or end of the year. But these are things you also consider when you are also trading. Is very, very important. Yes, let's look at the individual stock now. Individual stock have also different pattern from the world from index. Now, I want to first of all look at what is happening in Access Corp. Let's look at what is happening in Access Corp for us to conclude how market is reacting to information about the completion of of the acquisition of first guarantee pension. Let's see what is that. This a day chart. As we speak now, it's stated that this is not a good sign for asset. It's still below the T line. You can see here. I have not seen any reaction yet. You can see that the stock is still in red around that 815, down from 820 or 825. You can see it here, and still at oversold region. If you look at it, stochastic indicator, and money flow is still flat here on a day chart. Let's look at the 1 hour chart for Access Bank. Access Bank is still very, for me, not looking good. If you look at Access Bank on a 1 hour, it's still below the T line. We need to also consider to wait. Yes, money flow is looking up on that 1 hour chart, but it has not reflected on what on the day chart, and also I've not seen the move on the price as a result of the information. But while eyes is still at the market, as we speak at this hour, money flow is looking up for Access Bank on the 1 hour chart. But let's keep our fingers crossed for Access Bank. Let's quickly look at Zenith Bank. Yes, I know that the result is out already, but let's look at what is happening in this Zenith Bank now. Is this stock to hold the tactical to dividend into dividend? We have not seen much impact on the price of Zenith Bank. Let's look at what is the market sentiment. Market sentiment on a 1 hour chart is still, for me, it's not too good. Consider that money flow is looking down on 1 hour chart and it's trading below the T line, as you see the chart here. And yes, you can see kind of a little move from the stochastic indicator, but not up to 50 to confirm, but it's a good move. But let's look at the day chart for Zenith Bank. The day chart for Zenith Bank flat on the T line, but you can see that the stochastic is trying to cross, but strong around 66, but of the confirmation, money flow still remain up direction, despite that there's a little slowdown this hour now in Zenith Bank. Let's quickly look at the Fidelity Bank, then before we cross over to Vitafoam. Look at what is happening in Fidelity as we speak now. Fidelity Bank on a daily chart, yes, there's a strong move here. You can see even a start kind of reversal for money flow on a day chart, but it's not strong. Markets have not reacted to the information that hit the market about the acquisition of 100% of the Union Bank UK. But let's see how it goes. But I think this is a fundamental news that we'll see how it goes. Also, don't forget that this sector, like I've said earlier in one of the class, that yes, the cost of fund, the increase in interest rate, all those stuff, but because of hike in rate, also see that the net interest margin of this banking sector will improve little. That there might be costs here and there. They're likely also the non-performing loan will look up. But I see most of them, their risk managers or their risk strategies are working for them. Might not see much in their people. Since they are making provision already for this watch, for this non-performing. Let's see at the end of the day. But I believe that from Q3 and the end of the year, we might see more improved number from this sector. And also for those that are looking for dividend, there are some big banks there that are also their dividend yield is high already. You can see what as GT code is battling with up and down movement. That makes the stock attractive. But the number will determine whether they sustain their full year dividend pay pattern or policy. But I believe that nothing is wrong with that. They might hopefully maintain it just to sustain, and also because a deviation for that will send a bad kind of signal to investing public. And for that, if you are looking for where you can have high dividend yield, and you might not get much capital appreciation, but dividend yield, I think that is okay where you can look at. But for now, Fidelity, we have not seen much, but let's look at 1 hour chart for Fidelity. Yeah, look at 1 hour chart for Fidelity. On a 1 hour chart, yes, we are seeing a green here now, good one. Now on the top of a T line, both the T line and money flow is looking off on a 1 hour chart. This is good. Here also because this is shorter signal that tell you struggle that read the psychology of the people that are in the market, the buyer and seller. We are seeing that there is improvement for Fidelity. Yeah, and see money flow almost 51, which is good for me looking up, and we are seeing that the gas is also looking up here. Let's see how far to go on 1 hour. If that surface on the day chart and that of weekly, that will be good for Fidelity as we speak now. Finally, no, oh sorry, let's look at Fidelity Vitafoam before we go to one other one before we can draw the curtain for today. Look at the MTN before we draw the curtain on you can. this vital foam for me. Vital foam for see on a 1 hour chart now, you can see that it's not looking bad, but you can see that the can is above the T line on 1 hour chart. Yes, it has even gone as high, almost touching 4 naira within this board. This candlestick represent 1 hour movement on this stock. That is why what we are seeing in this position now in this stock, as it's telling us this 1 hour performance for this know what will this will represent 1 hour chart. There for me it's a good one, but consider phone is also looking down slightly. But let's look at the day chart for vital phone. I think it's a good sign. Let's look at what it's doing. But if you look at the 1 hour a day chart, consider it's missed. Yes, still missed, but you can see that it has gone up as high as almost like 23, 70 or 23, 71. Before coming back to say that this price is now to speak around that 23 now or 22.40. Let's see how it goes. Money flow is looking up, and we are seeing that the MACD stochastic has come as low as where it is now. But let's see how when it will rebound from here. But it's a positive one. Once this one cross this red one, you can see the blue one coming up. Once it cross that one, the red one up, that's a good sign for the momentum. But let me look at the MTN before we round up MTN and you can let me look at what is happening in MTN. See MTN position. So look at MTN position. Speak now. MTN on a day chart is good, but consider the sign of weakness here. Try to go down. Money flow is looking down. That means one is not entering the stock fresh. So let's see 1 hour chart for MTN. 1 hour chart there is still flat. You can see that the phone is very low, around below 20, 27, around 27 and below. For me, let's keep our finger for MTN and see at the end of the day what happens. For those that are thinking medium and long, you can see the impact of liquidity in the market. The market is a bit low. But let's look at the UCAP before we call it a day. UCAP on 1 hour chart is also flat on the T line. You can see that there's also an oversold region. Money flow is looking down on the 1 hour chart. Look at what is showing at the day chart. Yes, try to break out the 12 naira, touch around the 12 naira, but you can see now it's still around the 11.95. Let's keep our finger crossed, but there's a little sign here. Money flow is looking up. But once it cross 50 and it's sustained, that is where actually this trend will be sustained for for UCAP. Yes, I will say thank you for your time for today. I believe that will kind of give you a clue what is happening in the market as we speak. But because of the volatility that is was in the market and most of the position, like I've said yesterday, that we have taken before now that has not moved, then most of them need to hold position and wait and watch and see with your eyes fixed on what on your stop loss. But for the coming masterclass for October for the last quarter of the year, yes, actually, because of what is happening, we have done a lot of research on what to do to pick and also the new strategy that you can use as a trader. This strategy will also be made known at that class. We are looking forward that by next week, what they roll out the process for registration so that you can start looking at it because we need to take advantage of what the activities of the last quarter of the year to invest wisely and also be in a stock that know that when whatever that is happening in the economy, your dividend is sure, capital appreciation is sure that when also after the election, we are going to see post rally. Are you already in those stocks or you are still waiting, to enter? We want to discuss all that, in the masterclass and how you also preserve your capital, the kind of defensive stock you should be, and those kind of stock that you should also be buying now, even as the what people are saying uncertainty of focus after the election, Nigeria will still remain, that Nigeria will continue, and we expect that after the election, we're going to see new policy, economic policy, new policy to revive a lot of things in Nigeria. That was going to influence a lot of sectors, and those leaders in that sectors, if the policies or the lawmakers, the policy makers, decisions are favorable in that sector, that's going to also boost their performance for you to be in those positions as that before on time before this policy come is very also important. And the one that we know that yes, what is happening in that sector, government will find a way of making policy to boost that sector to expand the activities also to be there before this policy come. These are what we're going to discuss in the coming master class for October. Hopefully the first Saturday of October by God grace. See you. I say enjoy the rest of the year. Yes, also we have posted a new video on the on the on the on the channel that we want to. I encourage you must subscribe to that. Once these videos are posted, you'll be alerted by YouTube in your either your phone or your email. Like this, that you can follow up immediately. This how to invest, during this position also the kind of sector that you go in and also look at the video, listen to the video. Also, you can make your comment also to also add to what we discussed in that video. I'll say thank you and enjoy the rest of your trading day.